special guest ladies and gentlemen is Michael Fox. Chin chin. Chin chin. Cheer hell, chap. Cheer hell. Nice to have you here. Now, Michael has sold more than 50 million albums in a career which has, you might find this hard to believe, spanned 4 decades. He's sung with the likes of Luciano Pavarotti, Ray Charles, written songs with Bob Dylan, penned hits for Barbra Streisand. Not bad for a bloke who started off as a hard rocker, supporting Ozzy Osbourne on tour. And that was the first breakthrough.
Yeah, it was the beginning. I mean, opening for Ozzy. Ozzy was selling out the Coliseums. We would do our rock show, and he would walk on, and he would go like this, and we'd see 50,000 people go like this. And then if you went like that, they would go like that. It was kind of frightening. But then right when you walked off stage, backstage, he was perfectly normal, down-to-earth guy.
Yeah. Well, because there was this...
Let's say perfect.
For a guy who eats bats.
Normal might have been the one word.
Tell me, because you left school to go into the music business, and then there was quite a gap before you had hits in your own right, like nearly 20 years, is that
Well, I went to school. I just wasn't sure that you were supposed to show up every day. And it was about music. Yeah, I signed a record deal with Epic Records, CBS, when I was 16. So my mother got me a tutor for the next 2 years, and I just completely immersed myself in the music business. And then other artists, other companies signed me, and then 18 years later, I had my first hit. So I'm an 18-year overnight success story. Yes.
Did you ever feel like packing it in?
I think I walked so far into the desert of one career, I don't think I could turn back. I didn't have another skill. I couldn't tie my shoes. I'm still struggling with a microwave oven. So, no, it was really music, and my commitment to music took me so far out there that when they said, what are you going to do if this record doesn't succeed? I thought, start the next one. And did. And then somehow somebody would come along and say, oh, I've got a budget for you to go to the studio for the next one. And there it was. But 18 years later, I had my first hit.
Extraordinary. Now, Michael's just released his 18th album. It's called One World, One Love. It features some really intriguing collaborations. Lady Gaga you've written with.
Lady Gaga. It's the hottest thing on earth. No.
She has the most amazing wardrobe.
I love her. Oh, there's a picture of her. I love her. No one had heard of her, at least in my camp. It was September of last year. And she was a songwriter and doing quite well as a songwriter. Had a record coming out. They called me and said, you have to write with Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. And of course I was thinking, what is a Lady Gaga?
I'm glad you said that.
No, well, because I hadn't heard of her yet. And then they said she's this great writer. She is an amazing character and writes lyrics and music, and she's a big fan of yours. So I said, okay, send me some. Now what we send is MP3s, tapes and records. I got back to my hotel room, Laguna Beach, opened up the laptop and listened to 3 songs and thought, this is amazing. She's amazing. Yeah. Okay, I'd love to write with her. When? Tonight at 8 o'clock. Is there any other time? Well, no, she's coming to Germany, Australia, and all these other countries too. She's on a record. Went to the studio, walked in the studio. She was dressed as provocatively as you see her on most of the shots. That's how she shows up.
She's like that all the time, isn't she? Yeah.
I can't say all the time because I'm not around her all the time. I want to get rumors like that started here, but she's amazing.
Now, One Love is the first single to be called from the album. Have a look at this. Some bad news on the live front. We're going to be doing some dates, but not very many over here.
No, I'm actually going to be, 2010, I'll be touring the entire year.
Right.
I can do, up and down the UK. I'll bring my golf club. So, and, I love coming back here and touring. But we had booked already the Royal Albert Hall because it's really difficult to get nights there. They're sold out with everything. So we're November 2nd and 3rd coming up at the Royal Albert Hall. Okay. And that's exciting. It's my favorite venue in the entire world.
I've got to ask you about the hair.
Yes.
Because you and Carol Decker from Pow were partly responsible for me getting the perm in the late 80s. Will you ever grow it back again? Well, you didn't, but I couldn't recreate your looks with this hair, so I had a perm. So it was your fault. Will it ever be growing back again? Gosh, it's like looking at me. That's exactly what my hair was like.
That is actually a photo of you.
The difference is you look a lot better, and I was 12. And I have now much more hair growing out of my ears and nose. It's nature's
horrible
cruel
getting
way.
older, isn't it? Yeah,
It's just a man thing, the ear hair, isn't it?
But,
What happened to all the hair? Because is it true that you actually auctioned
Yes.
it off?
auctioned it off at a fundraiser for women at risk, women and children at risk.
It's a worry, isn't it?
You
How come we didn't? This isn't actually the Michael Bolton wig. You can buy Michael Bolton wig. Did you know that?
No, I did not know
You
that.
can buy it on a website.
If I had known that,
That's the Michael Bolton mullet wig. It's been named after you.
As long as you don't get the guy who comes with it. We really did get $8,000 for a bag of hair.
Where did it go?
I don't know. I think, you know, they put it in, they burn it with
But it was for charity.
It was for charity, which was
Good for you.
It made perfect sense. We found out that there were going to be fans coming to this particular event, and that it actually would be one of the hot auction items, which is insane.
Can't take you
I tell you what, I used to look just like this. This is the worrying thing. I was a rocker back in the day. Now, let's tell you about today's show, folks. Let's get serious. After the break, I'm going to ask for the panel's help with today's lead story. This Thursday morning with Amanda Land, Dr. David Bull, and our special guest, Michael Bolton. In a little while, Michael's going to take us through the rest of today's headlines. But first, I want to know if the panel can tell me what is racist about this primary school boy playing soldiers with a Polish friend. And don't forget, you can email us your comments by stella5.tv is the address. Today's Daily Mail tells how 9-year-old Stephen Cheap was made to stand in front of his class